don't know if you can tell, but I've lost my motivation to shower and I find comfort in.
I've lost my motivation to shower?
The server got nuked!
Cocksucker! Cute uwu.
Yo, I turned 21 in 2 months. Could I still?
There was this other girl. They started talking when he was 18 and she was around 13.
What is Nova Online? Nova Online releases Death Note targeting creators. Nova Online, a tale of gluttony and vengeance. We'll react to this one.
In the world of big business, there's an idea known as golden handcuffs. Companies will give their high-value employees lavish incentives to make sure they don't leave. Stock options, equity, bonuses, all ways to chain talent to one specific corporation. But what if instead of working at any high-value company, your job was making TikToks? And instead of vacations to Bermuda and a new Benz, the thing making you stay was millions of people watching you destroy your life on a daily basis.
This person likes to wear diapers and soil them.
Trying Wingstop for the first time. These are actually pretty decent.
But this TikToker is hiding a dark secret.
And the relaunch of the Discord server is coming soon.
It's 18 plus.
The server got nuked! No!
Nova Online is a man who has been repeatedly exposed for his inappropriate interactions with underage individuals, and yet continues to document every step of his life online. From his hoarding to his wall where he smears bodily fluids, his food reviews, and his most recent dive into creating adult content, he's a busy guy.
I'm never making another Discord server again.
He did, in fact, keep using Discord, and it went about as well as you can imagine. A total disaster. It's clear that at this point, Gabriel yearns for the attention no matter what form it comes in, chains from which he will never free himself. We've got a lot to talk about.
No!
So I know nothing's been bad.
Yes, I'm taking soup, please!
Hey everyone, I just wanted to let you know I have gotten tons of comments and DMs asking about the weigh-in video. Now you guys need to stop eating.
Finally, I can post real videos to my new LG style phone.
Nova began his content creation journey on YouTube, posting Let's Plays of games like Minecraft, Brawlhalla, and Fortnite.
What's up guys, Magic Wizard with the 5th video I have recorded so far today.
As dedicated as he was, this channel was lost in the sea of other Let's Players trying to do the same thing. So he switched platforms from YouTube to TikTok, and swapped his format from video games to fast food.
Trying Wingstop for the first time. Cajun seasoned fries.
For the first time.
Okay. Mildly spicy, but nothing that I can't bear. These are actually pretty decent. 8 out of 10.
This video got millions of views, changing Nova's life forever. An ironic fan base formed around him, eager to see what he would review next.
Trying Ultra Sunrise Monster Energy, and if you're wondering why I'm not at home, I'm at my church for Bible camp.
Unfortunately for him, within a matter of just a few months, he was exposed for having an interest in diapers.
Wait. Hey. Wait.
This is
Every person we've caught that's been into diapers, they're also into CP. Like, there is definitely a correlation between the two. For sure. Without a shadow of a doubt. You know? I'm not gonna say every person that's into diapers is into CP, but high 90 percentile.
obviously pretty strange, but in and of itself, it's not technically a crime. What might be is him sharing these strange interests with who he believed to be a 14-year-old girl.
Twinkle with the how I wonder why you are up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky.
Following this incident, he was subject to being incessantly exposed for his strange behavior and chronically bothered by trolls to the point where his life became a bizarro version of The Truman Show.
I don't know if you can tell, but I've lost my motivation to shower and I find comfort in...
I've lost my motivation to shower? Chat, I didn't know we had to get motivated to shower. Chat, have you ever had to give yourself a motivational pep talk to get in the shower?
Eating.
His house is essentially a hoarder's nightmare. He documented himself attempting to clean it before promptly giving up when he realized it would take at least a little bit of effort.
Y'all know me as the food review guy, the karaoke guy, the guy that tried to do a house cleaning.
I mean, right now I know you're the
kind
diaper
of failed
guy.
on that and is now cleaning his room at his own pace.
He also continued doing fast food reviews, only to reveal the effects of a pure slop diet on his bowel movements.
Hey y'all, so I think I'm gonna go stop going to the Wendy's that I normally go to.
After a series of failed Discord servers, he attempted to create a new one in May of 2025, trying to bring his fan base together at long last. This server featured several channels containing not safe for work content, but Nova and his mod team failed to have a proper age verification system in place, reportedly allowing minors to be exposed to some bad stuff.
The server rules clearly state you have to be above 18, but you gave a child moderator for singing in voice chat. What the fuck?
He also used this server to beg his fans for money, despite spending hundreds of dollars a month on useless trinkets and expensive DoorDash orders. And of course, he made sure to share with everyone that his diaper was, in fact, full once again.
Oh my god.
Within a few hours,
Bro, man.
the entire server was hacked. Nova was on live stream when it initially went down, having a total meltdown over the loss of his Discord kitten community.
The server got nuked! The server! No!
Say something, I'm giving up on you.
And there goes the server. Seriously?
But then, something strange happened. While this meltdown seemed pretty sincere, given it was the actual moment that he found out about the server being destroyed, he then made a TikTok about it.
I'm never making another Discord server again.
This is the mother fourth.
To be clear, it's not weird that he made a TikTok. That is what he does. What is weird is that to me, this seems like acting. We know his real meltdown happened on the stream, but for it to happen again and to be so perfectly timed, he knew what he was doing. These meltdowns get him clicks online where people comment to make fun of him, boosting it in the algorithm. And to his credit, it worked. The video got 15 million views, and once again made him the subject of commentary channels that hate him. Nova had officially achieved self-awareness of his status as an internet punching bag, even playing into it as his only means of any online relevance. This is where I last left off with him, trying to recapture whatever semblance of relevance he once had by recreating his hits.
Can I get a French onion soup, please? I think it's time to recreate one of my most viral moments.
I've never heard of this dude.
Soup, please.
So what's happened since then? Well, to say the least, his past has once again come back to haunt him. First, one of his former classmates named Casey came forward to share her experience with Nova dating all the way back to middle school. Over a 4-minute video on TikTok, she explains that he was a choir kid, but he wasn't accepted into the school's choir, so he made his own.
Damn. Not even the choir kids want to hang out with you? Damn.
What that apparently meant in practice was that he invited a bunch of girls over and told them that one of the requirements for his choir was for them to be comfortable with using exercise machines for music videos. I genuinely can't think of any reasonable explanation for this requirement, so I think we have to assume that Nova's gooning goes all the way back to then. The girl in the video eventually found herself in the situation of having to perform a couple of songs alongside Nova, but she decided she would rather not show up at all, which made him very upset, at least according to her. Later on, Casey claims that Nova asked multiple girls to go up to the front of the class, and once they did what he asked, he performed Love Me Like You Do by Ellie Goulding while giving the girls a Magic Mike style lap dance. Ladies and gentlemen, it is official.
I'm trying to figure out how do you get a gun? How do you get a bunch of girls to pull up? I couldn't do nothing like, bro. I couldn't even get the choir girls to pull up to some after school curriculum stuff with me. How did he pull that off?
Up white boys are no longer allowed to bust it down sexual style. Any hitting of the yoinky schpoinky will be met with severe unforeseen consequences. That song is still fire though, you can't even deny it. Of course, when she noticed the direction things were heading, the teacher stepped in and intervened, preventing Nova from permanently traumatizing a group of middle school girls. Besides this incident, Casey claims that pretty much every single girl that went to school with him was equally uncomfortable around him due to how touchy he was. And she closes the video off by sharing a video of one of their choir performances. As you can see here, Nova is the one in the red shirt, and his unique physique is pretty recognizable despite him being much younger. Now, as much as I'm sure everyone is tempted to believe every aspect of this story, there are a few things to note. Firstly, this story supposedly takes place in middle school, so I wouldn't take it too seriously, to be honest. And secondly, we don't know how truthful Casey is being. I'm not accusing her of lying, I'm just saying, remember to take everything that isn't confirmed in these stories with a big grain of salt. Besides this former classmate of his, there was also a former friend of Nova's who was in contact with with him since mid-2023, who was interviewed by two of Nova's main detractors named Solidus Nova and Bloodspeth. In this interview, she describes reaching out to him out of pity. She saw how much hate he was getting on TikTok and was hoping that by striking up a friendship, she could ease his sorrows. But over time, she came to the realization,
I can change him. Nova, this isn't you. Let me talk to him. I can make him the better.
That he wasn't just hated for being cringy, but instead for allegations of predatory behavior. Over several screenshots of their Discord conversations, Nova can be seen talking about his general downtrodden state of mind. What's up? My brother is mad at me. Why? I just need time for myself. It isn't your fault, it's mine for being a loser. In another one of these conversations, Nova answers a simple, hey, it's been a long time, with, I'm depressed as hell right now. When asked about what was wrong, he says everything, before stating he has been prescribed antidepressants and has had multiple self-deletion attempts. His reasoning for these feelings is that he's been, quote, backstabbed, mistreated, and played with. Now, if he's truly having these very dark feelings in a very serious manner, then that isn't something to be played with. With that being said, based on the messages, the majority of his problems relate to his time spent online. A practical solution for someone like him would be to stop making videos and get a job.
No, like that's the same thing like Iron Mouse, you know what I mean? She was being sexually assaulted by or sexually harassed by Ray and Rakai. You know, you would think, you know, if she's gonna pull a Sheldon Cooper and robot herself to the Twitch Awards. Hey, you know, like, hey, you're sexually harassing me? Hey, doo-doo. But, you know, hey, no. We gotta stay on camera.
Both things that he is technically capable of doing. But as this video will make clear, his online infamy is somewhat of an addiction for him, and he thinks that the next hit is always just around the corner. From how often he brings it up in conversations, it seems like he's using the suggestion he will take himself out as a way to garner sympathy, down to the way he trails off every sentence with a ... like he's typing out a fan fiction on Wattpad. I don't want to make light of serious mental health issues here,
I want to see
the
this
last
bad
message
stuff.
he
Let's get
sends
into it,
after
Turkey
talking
Tom.
about this is, not even the Trevor Project wants to talk to me. If you're unaware, the Trevor Project is the mental health hotline for LGBTQ people. As far as I know, he's not really LGBTQ, so I have no idea why he mentioned this hotline in specific.
He's like, I'm thinking about ending it all. Oh, really? Oh, what sexual? Are you the L in LGBTQ? Are you the B in LGBTQ? Well, like, what are you? Are you LGBTQ RSTUV WX Y and Z? I'm straight. And they just hang up like, are they just like hanging up on you?
I don't even know if you can be banned or have your phone number blacklisted by the Trevor Project, but if that is true, you gotta wonder what he did to warrant that treatment. According to this former friend of his, he only ever initiated a conversation to engage in more self-pity and complain about his life, and had basically no personality besides that and his online persona. He never ever showed signs of taking steps to improve his life. What makes all of this worse is that Nova was explaining all of this to a girl who was still technically underage when they were talking. She claims that shortly after discovering him on Twitch playing Fortnite, she was invited into a call with him and one of his friends during his stream. But as enough time passed, he eventually turned his stream off, basically making it a private call between him and this minor. Nova's friend eventually took
Ultra 10. The internet gives people like this the gusto to roam in public unapologetically. Facts.
issue with this, and this is how she recalls it going.
He invited his friend, right? He invited his friend, and then halfway through, he stopped streaming. It was me, him, and his friend, and then his friend goes, "You sound kind of young. Nova, how old is she?" And he goes, "I don't know." And he goes, "How old are you?" And I said, "I'm 15." And he goes, "Whoa, Nova, she's 15." And he goes, "Damn it." He screams, "Damn it," right?
Unsurprisingly, he had somewhat spurious motivations from the get-go. Although he never said anything outright sexual that we know of to this girl, he did convince.
You know why he said "damn it"? It wasn't because she was 15. He said, "Damn it, she ratted on me, frick!" Ah! I'm gonna call the Trevor Project hotline. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, this is the LGBTQRSCVWXYZ hotline. What's your issue? Ugh, my waifu just swatted on me. She told everybody that I was 15. Oh, really? Are you a guy? Yeah. Is she a girl? Yeah. Bing.
Her to tolerate him pretending to be a baby on voice chats, and even sent a few videos of himself in baby mode and hugging some plushie, as well as showcasing his iced out binky. Although they're
iced out! What?
Mode and hugging some plushie, as well as
I done seen it all. I done seen it all. Bro got an iced out binky? Hey. Oh my God! Hey, I can't even count. That's kind of tough. Bro, he got it like that. He went to Johnny Dang and he was like, "Yo, ice this out for me real quick." Bro, that's tough.
Showcasing his iced out binky. Although their conversations never went beyond talking about hugging, I'd say that this could have escalated to something much worse given Nova's reputation. To me, this reads as Nova wanting to talk to someone under the guises of having mental health issues, only to then turn the conversation towards his strange interest shortly thereafter. His real motivation in all of this. If he was allowed to talk to people all day about diapers and whatever else, I really doubt we would hear about his depression very often. But despite these people being somewhat decent sources on how Nova truly is when the TikToks aren't being recorded, these are girls, and Nova is known for behaving quite differently towards girls than he does with men. We also have testimony from a former coworker of his, who despite having a pretty superficial relationship with him, managed to offer up some interesting nuggets of info. For example, this person claims that contrary to Nova's constant pity party about how no place wants to hire him, at least in the case of the establishment they both
Nah. I ain't never, no, bro. That boy practicing hip thrusts without the hip thrust. What are you? Bro, you're not even getting the full back contraction. Your traps are activated. That boy...
used to work at, Nova wasn't actually fired, but instead he voluntarily resigned. Nova supposedly quit his job because, in his own words, he was making enough money from selling cameos and he lived with his mom anyway, so he wasn't in need of money. Not only is Cameo gonna come up again later, but it's actually come up before as a major issue for Nova. Cameo is one of the easiest ways to capitalize on having online clout. Basically, it's a website where you pay a few dollars for a celebrity to record a short video message for you. It sounds pretty easy, but Nova also managed to screw this up. When a TikToker ordered his services, Nova recorded a shoutout video where he doesn't once name the person he's shouting out. This obviously renders the cameo completely pointless, as he could send that same exact video to literally anybody. When he deservedly got a 1-star rating, he contacted the TikToker on Discord, begging her to change her rating and even offering to record another video. Unfortunately, he never recorded that other video. It just goes to show how lazy and incompetent this guy truly is. With this much of a non-existent work ethic, there is no chance he could ever stop working and just do cameos. Another thing Nova's coworker says is that his roommate claims to have witnessed Nova wearing diapers. Only now have I really considered the logistics of Nova, a wet diaper enthusiast, working at fast food establishments. How would you feel if a greasy-haired, unbathed, bed-bug-ridden, wet diaper-wearing Nova online served you your food?
You know what, actually? I would rather that. Because, Chad, think about it like this, man. Do you think bro would wash his hands after he just got done taking a dump? Well, ooh, I was just thinking about it. No, actually, no. No, because that's poop pheromone. Yeah, no. No, yeah, no. I'm good. If I'm walking in and I'm seeing him behind the register, I've lost my appetite. I've lost my appetite. Yeah, I need to go back home. See, I'm too big to even be in an establishment like that.
Or even worse, what if he was the one cooking it? He's practically a walking OSHA violation. I actually don't know how he gets hired in the first place. Unfortunately, the coworker didn't have much to offer besides that, as they didn't spend much time together. But that to me is also notable, because when girls give testimony of their experiences with Nova, they always report him trying to get as close to them as possible. But when it's just a dude, it's like he makes no effort whatsoever to try and establish any kind of relationship. While the information these these two brought forward is pretty interesting, it totally pales in comparison to other developments that took place after my last video about Nova, also relating to his past. Although it hasn't been something I focused on, one of the most notable incidents during Nova's online presence is the Uncle Drew meltdown. For context, in March 2023, during one of Nova's gaming streams, this randomly took place.
God damn it! Motherfucker! I threw one of these days! I threw my uncle, and I'm not gonna put up with any more of this! I'm done! No, I'm not fucking okay!
To the people watching at the time, it was really hard to make out what Nova was even trying to convey, and when he came back, he stayed mostly quiet and turned his face cam off, until he half-heartedly explained what caused the meltdown.
If you've seen the Discord, you'll know what happened with me and my uncle again. We got into another argument. It was for a bullshit reason too. I forgot plans that we had made for Friday and I had scheduled something else. And then he got angry at me because I forgot.
With online trolls, no matter how aggressive and disruptive they could be, Nova for the most part would just respond by becoming despondent and feigning depression. Uncle Drew, on the other hand, was the one person that made him completely drop the act and go nuts.
And I'm not gonna put up with any more of this! I'm done! I'm done!
It's the unk factor that no one takes into account.
It rhymes with Uncle Funko.
Eventually, Bloodspeth managed to contact him and get some information directly from Uncle Drew. Nova was sheltered, only child, growing up afraid of everything. The relationship between us was good. I'm the only one to spend time with him, learning how to fish, work on cars. Grandma got him gardening. His mother and father got him into the computer as a way to babysit him so they didn't have to. If you take away his internet access, he has classic withdrawal fits. Screaming, just going off like any spoiled single kid. He's awkward, shy, and afraid of his own shadow. It's TikTok that told him who he can be and that he can do what he wants. There is no right and wrong to him, only what TikTok says, his own words. While these are interesting and definitely shine some light on the true character of Nova, according to Drew, Nova lied about what they had argued about. When he was asked about when their argument started, Uncle Drew replied saying he found out Nova had been lying to him about 2.5 years prior, but he was unwilling to say what Nova was actually lying about. There was no argument. There was him crossing a line. I put him on the spot over it, and it eventually led to me turning my back on him. It was him going on TikTok, saying false things, and acting like a pervert. That was the final straw. He needs to be under a doctor's care because he has issues, obviously, and if he's being a perv online, how long before he eventually acts on it? He's already been kicked out of the church and cost my sister her position.
He's already been kicked out the church? Oh no. But you see, bro, this is the problem with the church, man. The church likes to keep things in the church. And if it's a problem and they don't want to get a bad look, they'll kick you out instead of going to the police.
Because of his sexually inappropriate questions and his TikTok videos. Honestly, if I ever caught anyone harming a child, I would be hard-pressed to not put a bullet in someone for such crimes. I've made it clear to his TikTok friends threatening me that I'm always armed, and Nova knows this. Bloodspeth then asked Uncle Drew if Nova's TikTok followers had been harassing him, and Drew confirmed, adding that they had also been targeting his sisters, meaning Nova's mom and his aunts. The interview then comes to a halt as Drew says he's in the hospital and is on medication and would rather not say anything else. It seems he was the only person in real life who was truly alarmed by the absolute degeneracy Nova was getting up to, and that's probably why Nova hated him so much. He was the one man unwilling to enable or tolerate his disgusting lifestyle, unlike the people who had joined Nova's Discord servers. A few months later, Uncle Drew was sent the pictures which had leaked of Nova wearing a onesie and sucking on a pacifier. In response, he asks whoever sent him this stuff to report it to the local sheriff. I'm 18 months in the hospital, so he knows I can't come slap the crap out of him, so please call an officer. Most of this I had no knowledge of, and if my brother were alive, he would have been on top of it and made his life miserable. His mom is a I don't see it so it doesn't happen type. My respect for her is less than zero.
Tell you one thing, and I'm not ashamed to say it. My estimation of Nova Online as a man just fucking plummeted.
She's not answering my calls or messages, so again, she don't see it. A useless parent. She also lives on the internet, so good luck. Personally, I'd give him a good old-fashioned trip out behind the garage.
How do we know that this is really an uncle?
Let them think that any physical violence is a good idea in any form whatsoever. If any action should be taken by anyone, it's law enforcement in these scenarios. I doubt that's going to happen either way, but no one should be busting anyone's lips open over this stuff. Regardless, Drew does allege several things here. Nova's father had passed away, and his mom is his primary enabler, actively ignoring and pushing away anyone who will question her son's activities. Sadly, just 1 month after these messages were sent, Uncle Drew passed away, presumably due to whatever caused him to be in the hospital for 18 months. It's worth noting that in his obituary, it said that he spent his life working in special needs care. To me, this is interesting because when it comes to discussing widely hated internet figures, sometimes people will bring up that they're disabled in some way as if to justify the bad things they've done, or at least excuse them from suffering the consequences of their actions. If I am to believe this obituary, Uncle Drew spent his life working with people who were actually disabled. So at least in theory, he knew the difference between someone who is genuinely special needs and someone like Nova, who takes advantage of everyone's tolerance to do whatever he pleases. Ultimately, all I can say to Uncle Drew is rest in peace. If his account is true and righteous, then if it weren't for him and Nova's dad when he was still alive, who knows how bad things could have gotten before anyone else intervened. Especially given the fact that Nova could have avoided his entire downfall by simply purchasing one of my hats. This beanie is available.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Turkey Tom is edging me now, cause like I'm trying to. What? Does it get worse from this?
If there's one person's actions you wouldn't want to personally endorse, it's Nova Online. It's hard to tell when exactly Gabe's unique urges began to show in real life, but we can actually figure out when they began manifesting online. KF user Osama bin Laden, I assume not the real one, but you never really know these days, managed to find Nova's old Quora account under the name Nick Nyadine. We know that this alias is him because it also shows up in the descriptions of a YouTube channel with a lot of videos that clearly show a much younger Nova, as well as a Twitter account that's tied to him.
And I would just like to say thank you. Again. I've gotten over 100 views on my epic and epic card trick shots.
It's pretty shocking to see Nova before the greasy hair and the Discord mod physiognomy overtook him. It's even more shocking to see that 10 years ago, he was already making the same exact kind of content he still makes today, recording himself on an iPhone opening Pokemon cards. To this day, he still opens random trinkets, toys, water bottles, whatever his fascination of the week is, he opens them on TikTok. Also, another side note, his introduction here is clearly him imitating Jacksepticeye, who Nova was probably watching a lot at that time.
Hey everyone, ladies, my name is Nick99, and finally I can post real videos to my new LG style phone. So today I have an amazing video for you today. Merry Christmas to all. So I'm going to be showing you Pokemon figures I got for Christmas.
This is also reflected in his early YouTube content. Based on this, it seems his original intent was to make an honest-to-God gaming channel and have that succeed.
What's going on, YouTube? It is the phenomenal 9912334 coming back at you with an update video today. And first of all, I would just like to say my channel is ultimately dead. But that might all change.
You can criticize Let's Players all you want, but those guys do have to work to make their channels succeed, especially people like Jacksepticeye or Markiplier, who have managed to maintain audiences over the course of the last decade and a half. Nova, meanwhile, gave up on trying before he even had a half-decent microphone. He grew impatient with his lack of success, and ultimately, when he finally blew up, for less than stellar reasons, he let the entire thing consume him, rather than trying to make something people actually cared about unironically.
Today, we're gonna break down and finally do it. Guys, we are finishing our 100 fishing challenge.
It's really weird for me to see these old videos of Nova as someone who's made a few videos about him already, because you can clearly see that in another timeline, he could have grown up to be a normal person, but something went terribly wrong along the line, and now we're stuck in the bad ending. Based on Osama's findings, the final crack that sent Nova barreling down the black hole he currently finds himself in took place in 2021, as that's when he began following the teens in diapers topic on Quora. Right around the same time, on Nova's Instagram, he was saying that he had been having mental breakdowns, describing them as pounding headaches. Hold on, you're telling me that Nova is suffering from sudden physical symptoms caused by his mental problems, he has mommy issues, and he's overweight and greasy? This is ringing a bell.
It's
good to be in something from the ground floor.
One of Nova's posts on Quora was a reply to a thread someone else made. This person was asking if they should be worried that their 17-year-old daughter is age regressing, to which Nova said this: "You should not be worried at all. She might be dealing with mental issues like I have recently. I'm also 17, and your daughter might be a part of the Age Re community, which is a community of teens and younger adults who regress voluntarily or involuntarily. There are different stages of regression: infant, toddler, and kid. It seems like your daughter is at stage 1 regression, which is the kid stage. Don't be ashamed if she goes into the toddler stage either. They use sippy cups and pacifiers. I use them as I use them as well if I age regress."
Regress voluntarily or involuntary? Why would you voluntarily age regress? Jid, it still gets worse, bro. Gosh.
As well. So at 17 years old, he was already using pacifiers and sippy cups. Parents are usually worried about catching their kids doing drugs or drinking, but imagine if you check your son's bedroom one day and you find binkies and diapers. All of the stuff Nova eventually got in trouble for doing were things that had been brewing for years up until they blew over. And as his former Discord friend showed, even after being exposed, he continued looking for minors to get in contact with. As commentary channels ramped up their attacks on him as a consequence of new information coming out, Nova began watermarking all of his videos, not just visually, but also in audio form.
And I think I'm gonna go with the Pepsi Wild Cherry Zero Sugar.
Exclusive property.
So let's go ahead and pour about.
I've never seen this before. Bro, what was that? Ooh, I just heard some noises. Bro, he hit us, you know that website that we used to use whenever we want to download beats? And it'll be like, purchase at blah, 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 blah.com. Bro has audio watermarks and, oh my God. Trust me, bro. We know where the content came from. Trust. Noah Lee. Yo, you should check out Connecticut for EDPs. Connecticut. Oh, check out Connecticut. Bet, my man.
Half of this water
Thank you.
bottle.
Oh, whoa. First off, thank you for the 50. I need to stake that out. I want to be appreciative. I appreciate you for the 50. And check out Connecticut. Yeah, will do, my man. I appreciate you.
To the soda stream.
This was just one of several defensive strategies Nova concocted to prevent people from making fun of him. For example, if you go check his TikTok, you can notice that he records a lot of his videos in an indistinct location outside of his house, or he uses a green screen filter to cut out the background. If you're wondering why this is, it's because of the Horde.
But Turkey Tom, what is the Horde?
You see, the
Okay. I want to get into like this predatory stuff.
In the ancient fair, besides Uncle Drew, Nova has proved himself to be pretty unbothered by pretty much everything. Although he likes to play up how depressed he is to garner sympathy, everything people say about him at this point clearly rolls off his back. Even when people actually cross the line in a serious way, like showing up to his house in real life to insult him, he just yells back at them.
Read the sign! No trespassing!
You gotta envy how low cortisol this guy is, even in the face of adversity. Literally, nothing can spike his levels. Not even people showing up to his house in real life unprompted. I think he realized that him being harassed IRL attracted people's attention, so at a different time, he tried to act as if there were trespassers on his property, even though no one was there.
If anyone's on my property, get the f off of it!
Gabriel, stop yelling at that, especially like that. You don't yell like that out the door at this time of night. What about our neighbors?
I have a strict no trespassing policy, you know that.
Ultimately, the only thing he truly cares about is bringing attention to the slop he puts out on TikTok. Which brings me to the next thing I wanted to talk about, his content, if we can even call it that. It's mostly remained the same since he was a preteen, from his karaoke video.
Got me fired within 48 hours.
It's not really surprising to anyone that he would blame his trolls for how...
Pretty much, yeah.
If anything, I'm sad to say that Nova was probably looking forward to putting himself out there like that. constantly recording himself doing each step of it. But hey, improvement is improvement. I'll take it. Over the next couple of months, he actually stuck to it and was frequently showering, even if he occasionally failed to keep
Asmongold doesn't even do that, so that's a W.
up his routine and missed a few days.
I don't know if you can tell, but I've lost my motivation to shower, and I find comfort in eating. That's why I'm so fat.
Listen, at least he was still trying, and he retained some of his self-awareness during his failure. He eventually toned down the live documentation of himself in the shower due to his mom asking him to stop, and right around the same time, something else creeped up. Although it wasn't noticeable for the longest time, in December of 2025, Nova made a post announcing that after having started the year at a whopping 280 pounds, he was ending it at 220. A 60-pound weight loss over the course of a year is nothing to scoff at, and it's pretty reasonable and realistic for someone of Nova's size. However, people began doubting that this loss was achieved naturally, since it didn't look like Nova had become particularly careful with what he ate during any part of that year. The videos of him eating slop barreled on like nothing had ever happened. So naturally, people concluded in one assumption: Ozempic. Nova tried to dispel these claims by showing himself getting weighed in at his doctor's office, but this is him acting as if people were just accusing him of pulling a Wings of Redemption and straight up lying about how much he weighed, when that really wasn't the focus of the skepticism. It was that he was using a weight loss drug. Additionally, him being at his doctor's actually reinforces the idea that maybe he did have a health issue, and as a result, he was prescribed something that was helping him shed that weight, all while he still ate goy slop. But ultimately, he was still losing the weight, and fortunately for people who followed to laugh at him, he continued to be as cringeworthy as ever. In the rare cases that these internet punching bags actually do show some sign of improvement, they typically do so while stepping away from the limelight.
Yo, thank you for the 5 non-losing season champs, 9-8. JiDion, what do you think he would say if you asked him why he is the way he is? My bet would be he would blame someone else.
But in this case, it looks like the best of both worlds. Nova was handling his life better overall, and he was still making content, which is his favorite thing to do. Could this story actually have a good ending?
Okay, is this gonna...
Of course not. It was far too good to be true. In late February of 2026, Twitter user Kells_143 made a thread exposing that Nova was tied to yet another Discord server. Given his reputation with these, there was just no way that this was good news. According to Kells, one of the mods, Defender, was accused by an acquaintance of his of extorting minors into self-harm. Another person, Lucky, is said to be the co-owner of the server, and in a screenshot, he's saying, "When I go to heaven, I'll be greeted by 70 show does." If you're mentally well enough to not know what that is, it's basically referring to little boys. If that weren't enough, YouTuber Bloodspeth claimed that the server's rules allowed for no maps to post there. No maps being non-offending minor attracted person.
No map. So, hey, I'm never, so, you know, probably like an avid CP watcher, you know, I guess avid CP watchers would consider themselves no maps. Hey, I don't hurt any kids. Hey, man, I'm a no map. Come on, bro. Ghostly, thank you for the gifted, 2 gifted, my man. I appreciate that.
So essentially, predators who haven't acted on their desires yet. Perhaps
yet. Keyword yet. Have you thought about doing international trips? Would love to see someone doing work in somewhere like Vancouver, Canada. I would do Canada, but Canada lets them go, man. And if you go on the channel, man, we've caught some guys in Australia. We got 2 Australia catches posted.
Perhaps most concerning of all of this is that besides the aforementioned mods, one of the most prominent members of the server is named Alice, described as a chronically online 17-year-old fangirl of Nova's who can be seen saying all sorts of vile and disgusting things in the server, like having Nova change her pad. Additionally, she could be seen in a private voice chat with him called Alice's Pink Bedroom, and could be seen saying that she rocked him to sleep. In another set of messages, she can be seen saying that she needs money so she can go see Nova in real life. While all of these people seem to be pretty unwell in their own right, the biggest takeaway is that it's a sideshow of freaks who want to barnacle onto Nova because that's the only way they'll get talked about online. Don't get me wrong, I'm not defending Nova online, but it's important to note that all of these things said about the Discord members are allegations, the veracity of which I can't attest to, even if these people seem to be nasty. On top of that, their actual connection to Nova is mostly limited to them being attention money-seeking enablers of his who are just taking advantage of how irresponsible and socially needy he is. Even then, Nova eventually says that it was a bad idea to open another server and expresses that he wants to shut it down and tells everyone to leave. Knowing him, if he does disassociate from these people, it's only a matter of time before he fires up another server and the cycle continues because he just can't help himself. He always comes back.
So, okay, so far, he's talking inappropriate to minors. He's weird doing baby stuff. I don't know if he considers himself no map. Does he consider himself no map, right? Like, is there any cheese pizza allegations? Do I need to keep on watching? Like, chat, man, don't get me wrong. Like, this dude was bad, man. But you guys gotta realize, bro, your boy's desensitized. Like, I am pretty desensitized. So it's like, you guys are saying, like, this is crazy. Yep. Okay, let me keep watching.
And the sad, disturbing part of it is, he comes back because he needs people who will engage with him in his roleplay. Usually, I reserve disclaimers for topics that involve death, but honestly, this next thing is so bizarre that I think it merits some degree of warning, so viewer discretion is advised. We are about to get into what has been coined the Nova Files.
Okay! What happened?
In the middle of February 2026, Nova detractors Chin Universe, Solidus Nova, Bloodspeth, and Purity Sin all came together to post a video that was allegedly taken by a 14-year-old girl, with whom Nova was on a video call role-playing as a baby. The voice you'll hear in the video that's not Nova is actually a voiceover by Purity Sin, as the person who recorded the video didn't want their identity attached to it in any way. In it, Nova can be seen pretending to be a toddler and hugging stuffed animals.
I have a question.
Yeah?
How much are diapers on Little for Big?
Depends on which ones you buy.
Are they comfy?
Nova says he wishes he could be wearing wet diapers every day, but that it would be too expensive as he would have to continually buy them, which he can't afford. The concept of a guy doing this with a 14-year-old girl truly feels like something you would only find on the dark web.
You do really cute ooh-woo.
This was just the first of 5 episodes of the Nova Files. In the second one, which is also a video call between Nova and this girl, he actually takes his phone and points it at his crotch while wearing diapers to show it off. All while this girl is referring to him as baby girl. As disturbing as—
Okay, I'm looking at this strictly from like a prey catching stance, right? With that, I'm trying to think, could we get him arrested with that conversation? Would it be in a real minor? It depends where he lives. Do you guys know what state he lives in? I'm thinking, because he said he showed his crotch area, right? I would have to read up on the laws in Idaho. Did he show it, or did he just show his crotch? If he showed his crotch and he still had the diaper on, might not be able to get him. Might not be able to.
As this stuff is, there's very little to extract from it as far as information, as most of the uploads are basically repeats of the first one. Strangely enough, though, there is one exception. The end of episode 4 of the Files, during which the girl Nova is talking to fakes a seizure, and Nova just stares for minutes straight. Listen, you can have a mental breakdown, a seizure, or a heart attack all you want. When the baby is in his diaper, you sit your white ass down and you listen. But this was just the beginning of Nova's ultimate humiliation. Around February of 2026, Nova could be heard complaining about being catfished.
I'm not in a good mood because I got catfished. No, I'm not okay. I haven't been okay for a long time. I've just been hiding it.
As far as I can tell, he never elaborated with the specifics of who catfished him or anything else about it, really. But due to the kind of degenerates that were in that Discord server with him, many people began to speculate that Nova had fallen into some kind of blackmail trap where he was under threat of having his nudes posted. These suspicions only grew as Nova made an ominous post to his YouTube channel. If this is my last post, I am dead. Expect that if I don't respond within—
He only got 4 likes and 20 comments. Oh my god. I know for a fact he got ratioed in his own comments. Salt with the 10, just FYI, that Nova dude, I think, tried to apply to be a decoy in your videos. You're lying. Salt, how do you know that? Salt, how do you know this? Did he email? Or did he just say he wanted to be a decoy? Someone posted online the screenshots of him trying to apply? Nova admitted it himself. Yo, if any of you guys find a link or something, please link it.
2 weeks of no significant developments, something finally happened. But honestly, I really wish it hadn't. People found out that Nova had an account on an adult video website where he had posted a short video of him stimulating himself with a device. I'm gonna refrain going into more detail because I don't want to promote this account, but the name of it was a direct reference to Nova's usual online handle, and he could be heard commenting on what was happening throughout the entire thing. And apparently his room and consequently the horde was also visible in the video, visible enough to be recognizable as him. I'm saying apparently because I didn't actually watch this video. I'm never going to look at this video, and neither should you. What I can tell you is that the description of the video said he was taking a break from watching South Park, and his account's bio lists his relationship status as taken.
So that's what that means. Okay.
This stuff became public knowledge. The first assumption was that Nova was either hacked or he was blackmailed into posting this video. However, instead of even suggesting anything to that effect, Nova stayed radio silent on all ends except on his Telegram.
Oh, he has Telegram GGs. Y'all GGs.
Where he didn't address the video directly, but instead addressed what he says are its consequences. Mom just got sent to the ER. She has too much stress. It was the trolls. One of my detractors, Purity, has accounts on adult websites too, but of course nobody mentions that. I strongly doubt that any troll activity is responsible for Nova's mom's health, and I find it much more likely that this is him blaming something unrelated on the trolls to try and guilt trip people into not making fun of him. Obviously, this wasn't very effective, as people noticed he had been desperately deleting comments from his TikTok referencing the video in any way. Soon enough, the video had already been taken down for a violation of the terms and conditions, which probably means it was mass reported. When you take his Telegram messages into consideration, it leads me to think that this was actually done of Nova's own volition. For a long time now, he's been making offhand mentions of how he's financially desperate or how he may need to do an OnlyFans. But the thing is, he's never actually been super strapped for cash. Sure, he complains about not having money, but somehow he always has a bunch of TikTok shop trash showing up at his house, fast food. I mean, even his pacifiers and his diapers, the money has to come from somewhere. On his TikTok, he made a very vague post where in the description of a video where he lumbers into the frame before lazily making anime poses, he wrote this: "You know who you are," not naming names for their safety, but I'm thoroughly pissed at them for what they did. The upload following this one was apparently an old draft that he had recorded sometime prior, so it had nothing to do with the unfolding drama. Following that was a cringy video where he lip syncs to an audio talking about revenge.
Truth will ultimately prevail. But there is pain bringing it to light.
And in the comments, when asked about what happened, he said, "Ultimate betrayal by a former friend." After this, however, it doesn't seem like he made any further comments on the situation. As humiliating as these videos of him that came out during this time were, they were just that, enough to actually try and keep them out of the public's eye. It's clear to me that he revels in the attention he gets, or at the very least, he's addicted to it and prefers having it to nobody noticing him at all. Ultimately, as much as he feigns shame and being upset over this entire situation, him being exposed and attacked is also a part of the Nova Online phenomenon, which is why he continues to make silly TikTok videos about revenge. But the Nova files don't actually end here. After the last episode was posted, Bloodspeth uploaded a 3-hour interview with someone who was Nova's friend. Unlike all of the other people who knew him in real life, this wasn't just a superficial acquaintance. This was the closest thing Nova had to an actual friend, as opposed to someone he met on Discord that enabled his degenerate activity. In the interview he gave to Bloodspeth, this guy begins by explaining that he didn't start talking to Nova with the intention of turning around and telling everyone about it, or just—
Bro, you know what? Here, this is what we're gonna do. This bro Speth dude looks like he knows. Bro Speth? I want to just hear it from the horse's mouth. I got so many questions. Nova Online exposed in JiDion's Predator catching Discord. What?
Are you guys having a good day? Is it fantastic? Is it something you would brag about to your friends, your family members? Well, let me tell you one person in the world who is not having that kind of day. It's that no good for nothing kind of day that you just don't want to live through. But this is Nova's life every single moment. Every single day of it is just pure misery. And it's all brought onto him by himself because he just can't stop being a dummy boy. You see, here recently, Nova Online was exposed for trying to join up on JiDion's Predator catching Discord. Now, if you're not aware, JiDion, he used...
Oh my gosh. Yo, I turned 21 in 2 months. Could I still... Nova. We're hiring. Of course. Of course, Nova. Bro. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, you can apply. Sorry it took me so long, man. I didn't know. You can apply, bro.
Used to be a big YouTuber for stuff I can't even remember what he used to do. But here recently, he started catching predators with Alex from Predator Poachers, and it's actually been producing some amazing content, and it's been doing some good in the world instead of just the regular content that he was doing. It's actually really good. And to help himself out, he thought maybe I can make a Discord where I can show all of these predators that I've been catching so we can spread awareness from it. And you gotta pay like, I think $5, maybe $10 on a JiDion YouTube membership to join this Discord. So, $4.45! Remember guys, Nova Online is incredibly broke. He's been posting on TikTok that he has no money. His mom is begging him to pay bills that he just can't afford to at the moment, and he's freaking out. He can't get a job, and he's afraid that he's gonna lose his TikTok account on the 5th of I think April, maybe, yeah, it's coming up real soon. But he spends his money to join JiDion's Predator Catching Discord. Incredibly confusing when you remember who Nova is. One of the biggest people known on the internet for being...
Yep, my guy who runs my Discord, he found him on there, yep. He did apply. This is 100% legit.
A predator for being super creepy with people he believes to be underage. I believe this is like a ploy, right?
Alright, hold up. So, the guy who's been doing all the interviews with Nova's friends, he just gave me his Discord. I'm about to add him. Hold up, I'm about to interview the dude.
Hello?
Yo, Bloodspat.
What's going on, JiDion?
What's good? Yo, AFK Killer, thank you for the 10. In my childhood, I was essayed by my neighbor and was not honest when I talked to the police. He got no time. I wish I could change that. Thank you for what you do. I'm so sorry about that, man. Don't think what you like, man. Don't blame yourself, man. You're just nothing but a child, man. You're nothing but a child, man. God bless you, man. And I promise you, that man is gonna get what he deserves. Might not be in this life, but in the next, man. I'm so sorry that happened. Bloodspat. Nice. I wasn't familiar. I just learned about all this today. Have you been trying to reach out to me about this?
I think so. I'm not. Well, I know a lot of people always tell me that they're reaching out to a lot of other larger creators on my behalf. So I guess through that way, yeah, sure.
Bro, man.
But yeah, no, I remember actually. I was very interested in seeing you kind of like do a predator catch on Nova, but sadly that kind of fell through. But yeah, no, definitely we've been wanting to reach you about this.
So I was watching Turkey Tom's thing. So how many minors have you allegedly caught him talking to?
Oh boy. So I think in total, one all the way back he was talking to, I think in 2023 or 2024, she was, am I allowed to say the ages on your stream? Yeah. She was allegedly, 14 years old. Then there was, another 15-year-old. He was 18.
She was 14, he was 18, okay.
Yeah. Then I think around when he was 19 or 20, he was talking to this other minor who's 15 years old. She went by Sia online, and she was actually his quote-unquote social media manager, and he was doing things like calling her his woman in YouTube live chats and stuff like that. And he said he didn't know her age when, well, he didn't say that. He said she told him she went to university, but she was very clearly a minor. Then there was this other girl. They started talking when he was 18 and she was around 13. And it continued all the way until she was 17. And me and my buddy Solidus Nova, who's a kind of a Nova archiver, interviewed her as well. She's 17 now, 17, 18 now. But no, he was 18 and she was 13 when they started talking. Then there's this other one, this new Alice girl. She's 17, but she said she was 18 actually, and just said she was 17 to just so Nova would like her. So she's one of those people. But those are just the minors off the top of my head, but there are more.
Okay, with these, let me look. So he lives in Idaho, right?
Yes, sir.
Idaho age of consent. Ooh. Okay, the age of consent in Idaho is 18 years old. That's a W. That's a W. So with all this stuff, do they have all the messages saved from like beginning to end?
So for the first girl, it's mostly video calls between the two. And there are, I mean, I have the like original ones if you want them, but there's literally like hours and hours of footage. It was her and him in a private call, but she was also like recording on another device to her friends, which is where the footage was captured. And for the other girl, there's not many messages per se, but she just went on like publicly and admitted she was 15. Then for the other girl, the one we interviewed, that yeah, we have their messages, like all of them. And for the other girl, she's not really come against Nova yet, so we don't have anything as of now. But
and what was the youngest age again?
13.
13. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, that's not good at all. Okay. So what does he say about these allegations when they come out?
Okay. Well, he has a few different deflections he likes to use. His main one is that they're a troll, but you know everyone points out she's even if she was a troll, she's still that age. She's still told you she was that age, and he never has a response. His other new comeback is that it's all AI because you know AI is kind of being used to fake things nowadays, even though a lot of the footage is years old. But besides that, he just says it's fake. It literally doesn't go into any more depth beyond that.
So, has there been any CP allegations?
Not in that way specifically, but with that first minor I mentioned, he was very adamant about her going onto this website. It basically revolves around age play, like it's where you know adults, it's like adult stuff, an adult store, but themed around you know kids. It's very disgusting, and he was you know asking her to get those outfits, and they're very provocative, and I'm sure he was asking for photos if my memory serves me correctly, but in the way that you're probably meaning it, I don't think there's any knowledge of that as of yet.
Okay. Yeah, my chat just informed me about how he was adamant on becoming one of my decoys.
Oh yeah. He was in, I believe it was your Discord server.
Yeah.
Asking if there's any way he can become one of JiDion's decoys.
I seen that. Well, I'm of the belief, hey, I believe in second chances. You know what I mean? Blush back. You feel me? Like, do you have any communication with him?
Not directly, no, but with people like him, you know, there's always a bunch of trolls he's talking to. He thinks that are his friends, so I'm sure he's watching this right now as well.
I added him on Discord. So Nova, if you're watching, man, I added you on Discord. You know, I would love to talk to you, man. I would love to talk to you. Get your side. I think we like, you know, listen, I don't listen to just one side of the story. You feel me? I listen to the whole shebang. You feel me? Because there could be a lot of information that other people left out, you know? Obviously, I want to give you a fair shake. You know, a lot of people, they would just come to conclusions and, you know, they would write you off. That's not me. That's not me at all. I you know, I don't think anybody's the bad guy until I talk to them. And if I talk to them, I usually don't think they're a bad guy at all. So, I mean, yo, yeah, man. I mean, do you know people that talk to him?
Yes, I do. I know people who talk to him, and I know people who know people who have talked to him.
Bro, if you can, let those people know that, and tell them to tell him that I added him. Like, the legit JiDion added him, and I mean, bro, I think we could go from there, Blood Spat. What do you think?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I'm definitely down to spread the message to him, and I really hope he does accept your request and talk to you. There's two sides to every story. If I've been spreading false allegations, I would really love to know that. So if he can come out and come clean about his story and what really happened, I think that's the best case scenario for everyone. So many people on TikTok are just convinced he's this funny fat guy when he's actually a very, very dangerous and predatory individual. And more people who raise awareness, the better, especially someone like yourself.
My man, no, facts, man, fact. Oh man. So, how long have you been working this case?
I've been covering Nova for about 2 years now. I think in June or July of 2024, I first started, and it's been certainly a roller coaster from there. And what's more annoying, and I'm sure you get some of this annoyance as well, is the fact that he keeps getting exposed, and he just goes right back and does it again with no repercussions, because the law is so weird around online solicitation of a minor. If there's no direct attempt to meet or for photos to be exchanged, then can't really do much. So it just has been really frustrating just seeing him get away with everything. But hopefully soon that'll change.
Facts, man. My brother, man. I mean, keep on doing the Lord's work, man. Truly, bro. Hopefully I can have this conversation with him. Hit up those people
Absolutely.
And I added him, so all he has to do is just accept my my ad, and yeah, man, I can get him, bro. I could expedite I can expedite his stuff and all of that.
Yeah, for sure, and I'll definitely go ahead and do that. I hope everyone comes forward and tells their full side of the story so we can get the whole truth. So 100%, I'll take care of that for you.
My goat, man. You be blessed, bro.
You too. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Peace.